against Darkseer player in the world. In addition, you're playing against Venge. You get an illusion. That means you've got the aura. In addition, you have the Vlad's Buyer on the Abaddon. You're going to be able to take that as well. You can steal the illusion. The auto attack Avernus Curse could potentially proc, helps with the pushing power, and it owns PL throughout the game. You can put it an Ion Shell on Slark, and it deals with the illusions. One of the better heroes against PL. And it also fits with Wisp in theory. How did RNG win that last game with the Slark? Tons of pace, playing around the map, corner to corner. Darkseer helps you do that quite well.
Okay. All of those things made sense to me, Kyle. I'm with it. I'm not a big Darkseer believer, but maybe you just made a believer in me. Well, no longer a believer if you're not the believer.
Well, this is a nice way to start, where you can see Mind Control's actually pulling the creep wave from between Tier 2, Tier 3, and Nigma's actually tri-laning top to ensure Miracle gets total free farm.
Well, that sounds like classic Nigma at this point, but Setsu is already pushed to the pace against this Huskar, and as they said, this is a 9th pick Huskar, not last pick, and we are going to have our early first blood. Miracle was able to eventually trap down September.
Yep,
we take a peek over to mid lane.
All there was first item Oov, and he ran at him. That was pretty impressive. Look at Mind Control.
I hate early Orb of Venom right now. Heroes like Ursa and Slark is just gross when you do it.
It's because you don't need the shield anymore, right? That used to be 200 gold spent for every melee hero. Now you have the luxury of picking up early Quelling Blade, getting the Oov, as you said, extra stats. It's your call. Nice job by Super. 5 denies out of 8 creeps, with 1 still alive. Not bad.
Yeah, especially since he has worse base damage than Darkseer. I'm like pretty sure about that. Darkseer hits decently hard. I'm
surprised MC isn't playing more aggressive. I understand you don't want to die, but end of the day, I'd rather get my last hits and take a tumble.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, offlaners the vacuum surprise!
But the Orb of Venom keeps him slow enough that Super can run out of range.
Well, that would have been a sick play if he'd actually gotten the kill. Yeah. But sadly, he will just force the Abaddon back. Won't be gone for long, though. It's a short trip away.
Setsu's continuing to impress, man. Like, this is oh my god, he's going to kill him.
He may just kill Weehaw here. He's going to keep up with that movement speed.
One more stun.
Look to land another LSA. There's a double damage somewhere in there. Weehaw knows he has to juke this LSA to make sure he doesn't die, but he can't do it. Setsu was very patient, very fire for the last hit, dodging amongst the tree, healing Salve a little bit more. He's blown so much regen for this that getting out may not even be worth it at that point.
I love that.
But he does live.
Immediately just buy 3 mangoes. He's going to send him straight out so he can maintain lane dominance. That's another thing I feel like this courier change will start affecting. We're going to see more mid heroes that lane dominate. Because if you get that slight edge in gold XP, you just buy items, bring them to you. You're now back to full HP, full mana, and you can body your opponent. You can see down bottom, this was that rotation over from September. Pretty simple disruptor moves. TP's in, finds a kill. No problem. And look at the last hitting on the PL. This is what happens when you backlane, right? Monet's getting every single CS under tower with Quelling Blade plus 73 auto attack damage.
Yeah, Phantom Lancer and like Terror Blade, those are like the classic carries to deal with backlaning because they can tank the tower so well. But September may be dying here again as Miracle looks to chase him down with that Orb of Venom. Flywind tried to body block, not quite able to get it. Dark Pact doesn't get it off in time before the Magic Missile, so
that was so sick. That was Venge planting a tree, by the way, to try, and that little dissuasion actually keeps the Disruptor alive.
Anything he can do, well, sure enough, Setsu right back in Weehaw's face. If he could win that mid lane, obviously it would do so much. Slowing down a Huskar who has a Darkseer with him as well. A pretty good combo hero.
I will say, though, oh, hang on.
Maybe Weehaw into the trees once again. Once again, he's going to heal a little bit more, but Weehaw's found just this tiny little hiding spot, and Setsu didn't see where he went.
I will say one issue. There's 3 things you want when you pick Darkseer. You want to have auras to steal. You've got that, but you have no partner. There's really no melee hero outside of the Slark that you can put your Ion Shell on and have him play aggressive. You want your 4 to be that guy in the early laning phase. Second, you don't have a vac combo. There's no stun to follow up a 3 or 4 man vac. So it's really just the auras you're going to steal from a vac wall and the pressure on the PL. But look at that CS. He's really not feeling any...
You don't think... I mean, I know Huskar's a ranged hero, but he still gets on top of people with his ult. You don't think it's a combo?
It works, but it's more that there's no 4 position to play with. So Mind Control effectively is just going to be jungling or trading with PL. But you're not actually pressuring this Phantom Lancer like you would if you had, you know, an Earth Spirit or a Tusk of old, when we used to see this combo in the dual lane meta.
Kuro stuck inside the kinetic field, but mind control is going to lend him a helping hand. Super committing, trying to finish off the kill, but an early level of Cold Embrace allows Kuro to be able to live through it all. And Super, it's going to be him who's going to fall. The Arctic burns him away.
Oh, but they missed the stack there. You see Michael Joe's going to miss out on a hard camp because he was distracted for some time. A 1K gold lead for RNG, and it looks like they'll be claiming 2 bounty runes. 3? Did they get 3? I didn't see.
I think it might have been 2 for 2 because I think Nigma got both at top lane. But I'm not 100%.
Look at this CS disparity, though, man. We is 10-4. He has combined CS equal to the denies of Setsu, who has continued to impress.
Yeah,
Him and GPK, man, they've dominated these lanes.
I think it's pretty cool that Setsu has dove tower this many times, and his CS is still really high, you know? Like, oftentimes you're sacrificing your own game to kill the other, but he's still kept up great CS.
The benefit is he's not very farmed in terms of itemization because he's bought so much regen, so he can stay dominant in this lane and shut down Wii.
Fly win. Cut through the trees, and the Dark Pact is enough damage to finish him off. But the TP in, can they actually get the counter kill onto GH, who's already low? September trying to finish him off. The Thunder Strike, that'll do enough. But Miracle staying on top of September, comes away, trying to cut through the trees, but that's not quite good enough. And Miracle, he does have level 6 and stick charges, so he'll be okay.
Already 3 permanent agility picked up, and if you're an Nigma fan, you got to be happy when Miracle's the guy collecting all the kills. Monet, of course, still dominating. Going to go for that rush defusal. I like that decision. He's so far ahead right now. You look at the Nigma lineup. If he has defusal, no one but the Slark Darkseer have even a prayer of trying to get away. The Huskar, specifically of Wii, is just going to get ran at. How does a Huskar recover? That's one of the weaknesses of the hero. Strong laner, can't really farm jungle effectively, and once Monet starts running at him, he's in big trouble. Flywin.
Well, chase down once again. He had a great laning phase last game as the off-lane Vengeful Spirit, but this time not so much. They're still going to try and chase him down underneath the trees, by the way. Our Slark is completely out of mana. He's not going to be able to TP back home. He's going to be caught. Meanwhile, Mind Control is going to be run down by Monet, but the Phantom Rush isn't up in time. Back over to Slark. He is eventually going to die as, again, out of mana. No way to be able to escape.
God, they're playing so well around the map, man. RNG just constantly applying pressure everywhere. It felt like, oh yeah, we're talking about Miracle. He's got a great start. Nope, he's gone down to the first rotation from Setsu. There is not a single lane that really feels good for Dire right now.
See that one again. It's caught inside the kinetic field, and it was actually Flywin who managed to get the last hit with his Spirit.
Yeah, broom handle up for the PL, always nice for that extra move speed on these illusion carries. Level 6.
So looking at this 3K gold lead, I think it's easy to say RNG won the laning phase. But by like how much? Were they expected to win the laning phase, do you think? Did they overperform by a drastic amount? Is Nigma in like big time trouble since they're down this much?
I would say so, yes. You have major PL problems. And now you have major Lina problems, and yeah, sure, your Slark is ahead, but similar to the, it's not really similar, but Mind Control's the issue. He's the one that's going to actually be able to get aggressive in the mid game. His Helm Dom timing is everything, and he's got nothing.
This is a massive kill. Miracle does manage to outplay Setsu fourth. A big kill, 281 gold to GH. Sadly, not Miracle, but still they share the experience.
First mistake I've really seen him make in the series. No business being that exposed up top against the Wisp lineup.
Yeah, especially since he's got so many heroes to back him up. Like, if he just waits, Disruptor, Vengeful Spirits, Abaddon, all of them could help him in that situation. The tower does end up going down. Looks like Mind Control was hoping for a deny, but nicely done by RNG to push him back a little bit.
This is going to have to be the Miracle show. I'm curious to see the itemization he goes for. I feel like he's got to play aggressive, and that is the choice. I like this. It looks like it'll be a drums into a diffusal. I think that's the item build. It's what we saw Ana use, I believe, at TI a couple of times. It was also something Chris Luck really loved to do on the mid Slark, because it allows you to stay aggressive on enemy side of the map with a ton of stats. And once you have diffusal, it's very easy to find kills. That sets up for relocate kills, and more importantly, buy some time for Weeha to get back into this.
Yeah, heroes like Phantom Lancer, if you do catch him, like being able to burn him out some of his mana, that is critical for him to be able to doppelganger around in team fights. Heroes like Abaddon who are naturally tanky, but then you just burn their mana, they don't really do anything.
My concern is I'm not sure you're actually able to kill PL as this Slark in this game. You don't have a true PL counter. That's my problem. How do you actually lock him down? Especially once he grabs a diffusal. It'll be about the same timing as the Slark. If not, Monet's actually going to beat him to it. So what do you do to stop him from just doppling and running away?
Well, we'll have to see how the team fights play out for Team Nigma. Weeha's hoping it's not going to be just a miracle show as he's been trying to recover inside the jungle, but that's where he's been found by September, pulled back to his doom as Setsu gives him the Laguna.
Disruptor Dota. That's right before these outposts start spawning. Looks like we'll have a contest down bottom, super running. He'll find mind control, top lane. That's going to go to just Miracle, no problem.
And looks like they will be able to chase that Darkseer. He's not going to be able to claim that outpost and may end up dying for. No, he TP'd out. He's good.
Just in time, yeah. You can see Setsu, he did own mid, but his net worth doesn't look like he crushed mid. It's just because he bought so many mangoes, clarities, and tangos.
And died once.
And his net worth is lower, but he's also kept Weeha a bit further behind as well. And his Venge has more than the enemy mid. GH having a great game. It was a rough first game for Nigma fans, but I think GH was a bright spot. Even though he really couldn't do anything on the Rubik, I felt like in the opportunities he had, he played great, and he is one of the best Wisps in the world. So we'll be curious to see how he performs here. Already closing in on that mech, just 200 gold away.
Especially considering how you would watch those fights, and RNG put so much effort in killing him early. Yeah. They would like swap and go for mind control, but once mind control was kind of out of the way, GH was always the next target. It was pretty funny.
That's all about the team fight once again for Nigma. You've got crazy counter initiation thanks to the Wyvern, thanks to the Wisp. But RNG, they've proven, especially with September approaching level 7 on this Disruptor, man, they've got so much reach. And once PL has Diffusal, you're just going to go full bonsai in the back lines.
He's super farmed too. He's even catching up a little bit to Weeha's farm. He's going to have that fast Yule Scepter into the Aghanims that you like so much. Plants a mango tree right by the Roshan pit, as everyone kind of does on Radiant side. That spot is preferred.
Radiant's middle tower.
Everyone collects a mango and has a nice bath together.
Gold lead, not nearly as significant as it was in that previous game. But I'm still just a bit concerned for mind control, man. He has really not found a foothold. Last game was pretty brutal for him as well. As you said, they just kind of went for him every single fight. And he's rushing the pipe, which is nice for the early team fights. But my concern is that his offensive impact is going to be very limited. And it's just more and more emphasis on we and Miracle being the ones to make plays.
Yeah, so that was something I talked about for the formula of Team Nigma is in that formula of giving the hard carry to Miracle and making sure you have a good playmaking for Weeha. He has a good matchup mid. They're sacrificing mind control a lot in these situations.
Especially this game. He was left on an island. He was completely alone. You hardly ever see that nowadays.
Static Storm and Kinetic Field laid out as they do see that relocate coming in. But yeah, heavy commitment. They really want to finish off September. The Aphotic Shield and a swap. Really good play by RNG to make sure they get out. But Miracle's building up some stats on the fly when GH does manage to get the relocate back out. So nobody dies on the side of RNG, but neither does GH.
That was really scary though. Nigma hard committed there, and the problem is when you use all those spells, there's nothing to stop the push now. You already have a Helm Dom up on Flywind, so you've got that regen creep along with a ton of pressure you can output thanks to the Lina right clicks plus the Abaddon Curse.
Hey, it's perfect for RNG, right? They grouped up, and they have every right to go challenge an objective, seeing as you use those big ultimates. But it looks like they may not actually get that objective so easily. Flywind's going to be chased down by Nigma. And now, well, Super's going to stand and fight and see if he can get the silence off on Weeha, but as his borrowed time fades away, he's got to back up.
And I like this. Even though they're a bit outmatched thus far, Nigma's still making good plays. We saw RNG and Geek Fam do this in the group stage, where, yeah, sure, you lost your Darkseer bottom. He's going to have a lot of trouble with Disruptor PL this entire game, but they immediately make a move on mid, where there's both heroes.
They're going to glimpse him back inside that kinetic field, and with the Laguna play, almost enough, but the disarm goes out. Setsu, can he land the last couple of shots he needs? No, certainly not. Miracle's now on top of him, and Super doesn't have any life to be able to get more Aphotic Shield, so Setsu's going to be run down as well. 2 dead, make it 3 as September is going to be chased down by Miracle with leisure. 3 dead, 8 to 10, and all of a sudden things take a bit of precipitous fall for RNG.
We saw this all tournament long, Cap. Whenever you try to kill these heroes like Alk, like Naga, like Huskar, if you don't get that finishing blow, there's going to be a turnaround. Great job by Kuro there, spamming out the slows and damage. Miracle TP's in. This is why he went for the drums. He wants to be active. He gets Ion Shelled and just goes forwards. Was there even a PL in that fight? You're making this play without Monet. He's got Broom Handle, Ocean's Heart, Diffusal. He's your strongest hero, top net worth. If you're RNG, you've got to play around this PL.
So whose fault is that? Do you feel like Monet should be coming to these fights in the mid lane? Do you feel like RNG really needs to force that tower, or should RNG be playing a little bit more passive and allow Monet to farm?
A couple extra auto attacks, Huskar dies there, there's probably no turnaround. It just comes down to him, he didn't. I think it looked like he juked the glimpse with his ultimate, and then a nice disarm. He tanked all the spells, and then when there was just no auto attacks, he's going to survive. It's just more HP than they figured. Miracle is closing in on Diffusal of his own. Yule's picked up on the Lina, but it doesn't feel like Setsu dominated like he did in the previous game, even though the lane went much better.
I mean, his rotations last game as that puck, he was so successful that he just kept on scaling up and up and up. And here in this game, he's definitely been stalled out a bit as not able to find the same kind of free fights. This time around, Team Nigma has a lineup that can actually fight back early on, as opposed to the wait for it, wait for that black hole. That's all they could really do.
And not just that, they've done a great job. They've kept their mid tower alive thanks to that slight miscue from RNG, but they've taken the Radiant mid tower. This leaves that whole Radiant side of the map open. It's a huge benefit to the squad, and whenever it hits 15 minutes and one team's lost mid, the others kept it. It's a big map control lead, and it forces RNG to make plays like this. They've got to smoke around instead of perhaps cutting into the enemy jungle through that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't even taken the safe lane tower either, so they've got a lot of objectives on that to-do list, and that just means a lot more time for...
Notice Kuro, he's playing the same way as he did on that Chen, in the sense that he's always alone in a lane, in the dangerous lane, right? But now he's a Wyvern. He's just going to continue. Look at this. Spam W, tons of harass, clear the creep wave, stall, stall, stall. And unlike Chen, you've got the ability to fly away into the night instead of merely feeding yourself away again. They'll trade tower. You're fine with that.
Yeah, especially since Team Nigma are able to keep a lot more spread out, right? They're able to farm a lot more efficiently during that time. They only needed one hero in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, RNG all had to clump up top lane. Now they're going to work their way through the jungle a little bit, which Nigma will spot that with a scan. And they're actually going to rotate in turn and see if they can catch those people trying to invade their jungle. And that's going to be Flywin. Just a speedy little fish is going to be able to latch onto him pretty quickly as he uses the pounce towards the tail end of that. Really nicely burns him out of his mana. Now Super is going to be caught in trouble as well. Borrow time heals up the full, but they still have plenty of disables to lay it out onto him. But Setsu, Miracle's low. Can they actually burst him down? The Mac comes in real quickly. Nice heal up, and Setsu had no chance of being able to burst him down. Super actually left to be able to burn out while Setsu chased down underneath his shrine and dies. The glimpse back to Winter's Curse that was laid out on Super earlier now may allow Nigma to catch up to him. I love the fact that they just focused on that core Lina first. The pounce forward from Miracle spots him with the surge. Dude, Surge on Slug just looks crazy.
You asked why they picked Darkseer, Cap. Here's why.
Doppelganger over to the other side. Monet has the clumsy net that latched onto him. That's the real Phantom Lancer, and Miracle knows it too, but they do manage to get that glimpse back. So he's not able to stay on top of the Phantom Lancer. Now with the buybacks, RNG are going to try and turn, but look at Nigma holding that high ground, saying, we know you're still not strong enough to fight into us. As long as we hold the high ground here, we have the advantage. That
Ion Shell equalizes the Slark versus PL matchup. Weehaw was in the pit the entire time. They're going to get an Aegis out of
roast on that entire time. So now it means that there was no way for RNG to get to that part of the map fast enough.
Straight back in. Remember, if you surge the Slark, you get wisp pasted too.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to make their jump. Sure, they managed to get the glimpse back, but now it's Weehaw's turn to be able to jump onto Setsu and take him out of the fight. Monet trying to deal with these heroes. The vacuum group up of 3, but there's no AoE that's able to capitalize on that one. Monet in the back line, he tried to do what he could to juke it out with his doppelganger illusions, but he just couldn't do enough. Now Super's going to be slowed down with these 2 cores dead. They know Nigma, they can run the full gambit here. They can chase down anybody of RNG. They want to. Tier 3s and Tier 4s be damned, because if there's no Lina and there's no Phantom Lancer, there's no bite on the RNG team.
What a game, man. This is crazy. They're just playing with so much pace right now. RNG have been the fastest team in this tournament by far. This is the first time I've really seen them challenged. And they're going to take a firm lead in this game.
This is exactly what you said at the end of game 1. You said, this is what I want to see out of Nigma. We've seen RNG play super fast. That's how they're winning this tournament right now. You proved that you can do it on Nigma against fighting PandaS.
Yeah.
Go again.
It reminds me of that old QO stack when they played in NA, and when they were on Immortals. Every team that tried to play slow against them just got run over. You had to match their tempo and just fight them. There's no way you're going to be able to hide appropriately against a team that's got that just smells blood at all times. And Setsu, like, you just don't expect that. Like, Miracle getting surged forward. That's like 3 bonus kills. They didn't even need the Huskar. He's just an objective taker and a tank. He had 4 heroes on top of him, but thanks to that Talisman of Evasion, he got cold embraced. They actually don't have the damage to kill him. It's not there.
It's funny how, look at this. They almost caught him. Setsu, in his normal map awareness, is looking at that and going, they can't get to me in time, but because of Surge, they really almost could. It goes to show that, like, we were talking about, you know, what do they actually vacuum combo off of? And just years and years of Darkseer tells you that's the ability that you focus on and what you do with the Darkseer. But nowadays, it's Surge that's the real broken ability.
And the other thing is, I love, like, you look at Miracle, he got those drums like 6 or 7 minutes ago. He's already used every charge. They're all in it just to continue to chase, as we see here.
Fly win. Troublesome. Oh, Vacuum is actually going to pull Setsu out of position as well, but it looks like they couldn't quite overcommit there. They didn't want to go into like the tier 3s or anything, so no core kills, but just pushing them back and taking tier 2s, that's good enough.
And the problem with the Lina pick, right? Is we talked about how do you beat RNG's lineup in this game? You just have to run at them. You know, if Lina and Disruptor don't have the luxury of being able to position themselves in the back lines, they're so squishy. You can see Miracle is threatening him even though Setsu is in range of his tier 4s.
Yeah. It basically looks like it's like the same range as the Aghanim's house. Miracle has that kind of distance to be able to close. The glimpse back onto Weehawk, but immediately the cold embrace and the vacuum. Okay, Kinetic Field with the Static Storm. That's going to be able to hit 3 heroes, but where's the follow-up? Especially with the Winter's Curse guarding some of these heroes away. They can't walk through that area, so they can't get into that Static Storm exposed part of Nigma. And now RNG, they've just walked too far. Swap back. Okay, Flywind's going to be able to save Setsu here, but maybe at the cost of his own life. Miracle does get glimpsed a little bit farther away, but still enough to be able to stay on top of Flywind, especially Weehawk committing a little bit farther, but the Aphotic Shield and Mist Coils managed to keep him alive. Now Nigma. Now it's their turn to be a little bit too far forward. A swap back on a mind control. There's an easier target to be able to bring down, but the offlaner for offlaner, that's a tie, but Miracle, he wants a little bit more. He's going to go for a Super Magic Wand. That's going to be able to heal him up as well as borrow time, but what about Setsu? What about Setsu? But he managed to get the LSA onto Miracle. Miracle still keeps on going because he's relying on GH to give him all those heals, and they can't really commit to Miracle because he still has that second life.
God, the damage done numbers have got to probably favor RNG, but it just doesn't matter. Nigma have so much sustain. Huskar Slark so tanky with the Wyvern and a Wisp behind them. Look at Crow. He's never threatened. He can casually just survey the battlefield like Tywin Lannister. No threat ever because you can't get on top of him.
And RNG, they're doing a good job of like resetting off in these situations. Oh no, May! He just TP'd into death. Oh, RNG. If you weren't flustered before, you certainly are now. Is they're going to call the GG here.
That's the Dota I'm